we would like to begin this program with a word from one of our members, Gus Rives.
Oh, yeah. Last week, I made a fatal mistake. I said I didn't like Jason Schwartzman, but I got Jason Schwartzman confused with Jason Biggs. So, sorry, Jason Schwartzman. I'm sure you're going to listen to this.
You fool.
I hope you accept my apology. Okay, Andrew.
Thank you. Welcome to episode 2 of The Wheelhouse. I'm your host, Andrew O. To my right, Sterling Gavinski.
Wow.
Oh, man. Hello.
And me, Gus.
Gus.
Hello. You good?
Got a little something.
Just go, Andrew. Just go.
Okay.
Catastrophe.
I want to talk about Brooklyn, the movie.
We saw Brooklyn this weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
I guess I'll just say what I said before on our first take. Now, the audience deserves to know, Andrew.
Okay.
Pull back the curtain.
Pull back the curtain.
I said pull back the curtain last episode. You can't say it again. All right, just go.
Andrew hates Irish people, and so he hated Brooklyn. Sterling and I liked it. Andrew said it was dry. He didn't explain, but now he will.
Yes.
There you go.
So, some time has passed since I've seen it.
Yes.
And my opinion towards it have gone slightly more favorable.
Oh.
I do appreciate more its simplicity, but then again, that simplicity also is one of the reasons I don't like it. But the first half was very dry in the sense that there was no conflict. Everything for the main character, Ailish, was going great. There was nothing really wrong. She had no character flaws. Her relationship with Tony was all great. Everything was fine. So to me, the whole time watching, I'm like, I know something horrible is going to happen. And lo and behold, something tragic happens.
Yeah.
And
something subjectively tragic.
It
may not.
It felt a little forced to me.
You don't think she was at all worried, about leaving her family behind
she
and
went
going
to a new
place?
country.
Yeah.
In
Sure.
What was it? The 30s or the 20s?
50s.
Ellis
50s?
Island
Oh,
period.
it's the 50s.
Yes.
Wow.
That changes everything then. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hate
you
it
hate
now.
it too.
Yeah, I hate it now too.
All right. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yes, we saw Brooklyn over the weekend.
Yep.
That was good.
Is this Groundhog Day? What's happening right now?
Wait, what just happened?
Anyway, yeah. So I'd recommend Brooklyn to our viewers because it's a nice little film. And
I don't think you need to go to the theater to see it, though.
no, I'd agree with that. You don't have to go to the theater. Wait until it's on like Netflix.
Yeah.
Or pirated or something.
Watching it in like 480p, so that CG won't like really stand out and make you want to gouge your eyes out.
I didn't think it was that bad of CG.
Oh my god, it was horrible.
Have you seen Scooby-Doo? That's some bad CG.
Which one?
The first
Scooby-Doo
one.
2 Monsters Unleashed, to be exact.
Anyway. Andrew did something exciting today as well.
And this is mostly directed toward Gus himself because he does not want to follow in my footsteps. Today, I experienced the HTC Vive virtual reality headset because they're doing a little demo station on campus here at Southern Methodist University for this week. And I'd always wanted to try VR because I love video games, and that's probably the biggest application for it right now. And I went in, and I didn't have to wait in line because no one was there. And I went through the demos, and it was mind-blowing.
Man.
Yeah. Not sold.
So let me walk you through the process. You go up to the desk, say, hey, I want to try your little Vive. They're like, okay. You walk over, there's a square room. In each corner, well, two corners, there's these sensors, light sensors. On the ground, headset and headphones.
Mm-hmm.
You put those on. Then the helper gives you these controllers, one for each hand. And you're able to see that in the virtual reality world. So you have some sort of sense of where your hands are in the space, which is really neat. And I went through 4 demos. Well, initially, there's a simple one just to get you used to controls where you inflate balloons. You press the trigger on one of the controllers, a balloon blows up in front of your face. You let go, and then it's like movable in the air. You can like actually hit it.
Wow.
And that was the first sense of the physics behind it. It felt real, where as if you had an actual balloon and you could like hit it. And
So
it
it's like
floats.
sad little kid simulator. where
Yeah,
you just
now
let go
you
of a
understand
balloon.
why my interest is non-existent.
Well, if
I can
balloons-
just play with a balloon on my own time.
Yes,
Yeah.
but can you go underwater
Yes.
and explore a shipwreck
It would be expensive, but I probably could.
without a scuba suit?
Without a scuba suit?
Yeah.
Well, that's impossible.
Well,
You got him there.
you have an
He did.
HTC Vive, you can do exactly that.
Wow.
So this first demo, there's a shipwreck in the bottom of the ocean. You're standing on the deck, and it's kind of scary at first because it's really dark. And your whole time, I was wondering if a shark was going to come up and attack me. Nope. But there's little fishies swimming around the whole time, and you could like bat at them, and they swim away. But the showstopper was when the whale showed up.
Oh, my God.
What kind? What kind of whale?
I believe it was a blue whale,
Nice.
Man, that's the best kind.
and it
Favorite
was
kind?
apparently 2
Wow.
scale, and
To
it comes
scale.
all the way up to you. Its eye is like right in your face.
Oh my God.
What are the visuals like?
Okay, so getting a little technical here. Each eye is 1080 by 1200 pixels per eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you could tell it's a little pixelated,
Mm-hmm.
but what's more important is that the refresh rate is 90 hertz, so there's no delay really that you can notice. Your interactivity with the world feels real time. So
That's probably the most important part.
Yeah.
considering the
Does it
fact-
look real?
yes,
It's not just like
yes,
CGI Brooklyn water.
you could tell it's a video game, but it's immersive.
Well, there you go.
It's immersive.
Nice virtual reality.
But the sense of scale with the whale is phenomenal.
I gotta try this out.
Yes, you should. And
I
it's
will.
available this whole week. And if you're on the SMU campus and you're listening to this before Thursday, 9 p.m., you could still go and do it. which you should.
Wow.
But there are actually more demos. The Job
Yeah, he's not done.
Simulator.
Job Simulator. I
which
heard
is-
about that.
They do that
yeah.
there. It's
Wow.
more of a comedy. It's everything's brightly colored. You're in this like cartoonish aesthetic cubicle, and you're giving prompts of stuff to do in the office. Like every worker needs to start his day with coffee and donuts, and they bring you a tray of coffee and donuts. And you
That
gotta grab
sounds
it.
way better than my
Simple.
job. Sounds
But-
great.
But I love just messing around with the cubicle because it's super detailed, and you could pick up anything. So I picked up a mug and I threw it across the room and landed in someone else's cubicle, and he was like, "Hey,"
Whoa.
stuff like that.
It's the most fun ever done with a cubicle.
In
Yeah.
a video game.
So that game was super fun. They cut me short. I wish I could have played that more, but whatever. But then after that, there's this Google painting.
Google painting.
Yeah, so Google made this one. It's painting. Your left hand's like your palette, your right hand's your brush. Different colors, different like strokes, and you could just 360 degrees just draw anything, which is really cool. So there's like,
Okay, can it tell when you take the paintbrush off the sheet?
well, it's
You know
not
what
an
I mean?
actual like Van Gogh like circle board.
What are you painting on?
The air.
Yeah, the air.
So when you
Ah.
hold
So
down the
you-
trigger, it creates a stream of color.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
wherever you move your hand, it stays there.
And if you let go of the trigger, the color stops.
Yes.
Okay, that's
so
what I was wondering.
I did, you could hold down the trigger, spin around 360 degrees, and create a spiral around you,
Oh,
and then you're encapsulated in this spiral that you
virtual reality, everyone.
Are they, before you get on to the last one,
made. Yeah.
are they videotaping people? Because I assume that would look hilarious.
Yes.
Watching Andrew
Yes.
spin around in a circle.
Yeah, can we get that footage, actually?
Hey, if you guys come with me sometime this week, I'll let you record me.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, that's actually-
maybe like
that's a great idea.
Wednesday or something.
Yeah.
Yes, that's something I thought about, how immersive it is, and you forget that you're in the second floor of McFarland Auditorium. But
Wow.
I'm sure, yes, anyone else looking outside thinks you're really goofy, but it's worth it. Because the last one was an aperture robot repair.
Well, you got to choose, right?
Yes, so there was two. So the first three were, I think, part of the demo, and then you choose between aperture, robot repair, or a zombie one. And
Ooh,
I was scared by
tough
the
choice.
underwater, so I'm probably not going to do zombies. That wouldn't go well. So, and I love Portal, so obviously the obvious choice for me was aperture. And that one, loved the Portal aesthetic. It was like just like the game, except you're in that world. It feels great. There's cameo from different characters, which is great.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And just it felt really good. It kept up that Portal humor with the funny narrator and funny things going on. It felt exactly like a Portal game. It's just that you're in it, and it was just really exciting. One
Wow.
cool part was, if you know the robot Atlas, one part he walks towards you, and it does
Like
a great
the little
job.
blue guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just VR in general creates a sense of weight and presence.
Mm-hmm.
And as he was walking towards me, I like moved to get out of his way because I felt him actually like, coming towards me.
Oh, that's cool.
Really cool
Yeah,
stuff.
that's really
So,
interesting.
if you, the listener, have an opportunity to try VR, I highly recommend it because it will probably be one of the biggest pushes in the entertainment industry, and it's just starting this year. A lot of consumer models coming out. So,
Interesting.
That's what they said about the Virtual Boy,
oh well,
and that went nowhere. So. I feel like this was.
have you ever used it?
What, a Virtual Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
I don't own one, but I had a friend who owned one, and I played it once at his house. The tennis, Mario Tennis.
Oh.
Oh, and Jazz Punk, there's something like that. The tennis, you put the headset, it's all red.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a reference to Virtual Boy. So you should play Jazz
Oh, was
Punk
it?
too. Yeah.
Okay.
So VR is great. Only concern is pricing. Probably
Yeah.
it's going to be super
Well,
expensive.
if this is like a dedicated room,
That too.
I
Installation.
assume this isn't going to be like a household thing. It's going to be a come
Well,
to our
Well, there is a
store
consumer
building.
model. There's a consumer model, and you buy it. You get the headset, the controllers, and the sensors. So you do set it up in your
yeah.
own house.
So you just have to have a room
Exactly.
dedicated.
It's kind of impractical. So
Yeah.
there's no pricing on it yet, but I believe it's coming out in April.
Wow.
Wow.
Consumer.
That's really
Consumer.
soon.
Did not expect that.
Yeah.
Oculus
That's
is
cool.
coming out, I think, March. I think.
Consumer.
Oculus.
This
Oculus,
sounds like
right.
just like a step up from Oculus, though. Because Oculus, you're not walking around.
I've
with
heard,
everything.
yeah.
So we'll have to see. I would still say Oculus Rift is a front runner because it was the big name that
Yeah.
started,
Oh, yeah.
and Facebook owns it, so you know they're going to give it a big push. But we'll see. So you guys should try it.
We will.
Now,
Maybe.
that was a good little introduction.
Yeah, on that note,
Shall we get into
a
the
long
meat of the show?
Let's get into the meat of the show.
If this is your first time listening, I'll give a little summary of how our little show, The Wheelhouse, works. Every episode, we each recommend a piece of media that the other two have not experienced. We go out, we watch, listen, and play those things, come back and review them. This episode, we have a movie, an album, and a comedy album to recommend. But first, it's time to review the recommendations from last week's episode.
yes.
So, first off, spoilers. If you see in the description, the stuff we're talking about, we're going to talk about everything.
Massive spoilers.
So what I'm going to do in the description, I'm going to put a little time code about exactly when we're going to talk about these things. So if you say, oh, I don't want this spoiled, you just skip that part. Or if you go, oh, I'm not interested in first-person video games about stuff, you can skip that also. So first, we shall begin by discussing my pick from last week, the video game Gone Home.
Yeah, since we're talking about video games right now,
Yes.
dive right in.
So I recommended this game because I think it's amazing, and Gus and Sterling played it this past week. So what did you guys think?
Sterling, you can take
Sure
the
thing.
lead.
Yeah. Okay. So when I first started playing it, I was unsure as to whether it was a horror game. I didn't read anything about it. All I knew was that Andrew suggested it, and he said it gets a little spooky, and you get really invested in the game. Right. So I was unsure as to whether it was a horror game or kind of like a mystery game, which it ended up kind of being more towards a mystery, story, drama type game. And probably the thing that impressed me the most, despite the whole story thing, like forgetting that, is how freaking intricate it is. Like you can pick up all this stuff, like flip it 360 degrees, and like some of it has like clever names or like references on it. And all the punk stuff was fun too.
Yeah.
A lot of fun stuff.
The detail is immense in that game. I remember just playing it the second time, I wanted to get every single thing that I probably missed the first time. So I like opened every single drawer. Most of them are empty, but it's worth it.
That's what I did too. I played it with my girlfriend Helen, and we were pretty spooked to be honest.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we didn't know what to expect at all. It was scary.
Like even for me playing it the second time, opening the front door the first time,
Yeah.
and just
yeah.
seeing that like mansion and like the lights flickering, and it's like, oh
Yep.
my God, I'm still scared. And there's other spooky parts too, but Gus is shaking his head.
Andrew gets spooked really easily. There's something coming up later that he's also spooked by, and he was spooked by the shipwreck thing from the virtual
Hey.
reality. What?
You try it. You'll be shivering in your boots.
What, Gone Home? I did try Gone Home.
No, the VR. But
Oh.
you weren't scared by Gone Home?
No, because you told me that it's not a horror game. That was
Well, it's not.
It's not. Yeah. But
So what did you think?
Andrew
though?
spoiled how it seems like there could be a horror buildup, and there's not. So I anticipated that going in.
Okay.
But I had a very interesting. I think I had a unique Gone Home experience.
Okay.
At least somewhat unique.
Lay it on us.
So okay, I guess I'll start with this. I bought this game on Steam like a couple years ago, I guess, when it was on sale for like $5. But I can't get my password for my Steam account, and every time I do the can't sign in thing, so in Steam it brings up the browser, and then it's like error occurred. And this happened a month ago also. So every time I try to do like a password reset, an error occurs. So I guess I got to call freaking Steam, which I'm not happy about. But anyway, so how I fix that is I remember you said there was a console port. And
console edition.
On PS4. And so I go on the PS4 store, and it's $20, which is a bit much for this game. This is a very short game.
But you did it for the Wheelhouse.
I did it for the
What?
Wheelhouse. Yes. What?
Well, I mean, never mind. I could have gotten it, let you play it for free.
Yes, but this was yesterday.
Slacking, I see.
Yeah. Well, he played it yesterday too.
Yeah.
Or the day before.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I listened to Hüsker do today.
Okay. I was at least done with everything by today. But anyway, so start up the game. And for about 20 minutes or so, I'm enjoying going around the house, interacting with everything, making sure there's no like hidden messages or anything on them, and reading all the notes. And I make my way back into the foyer, and I'm just looking around, and there's this big bookcase by the staircase, and then I'm next to a wall next to the bookcase. And then a little tiny question mark appears on my screen. And so I was like, oh, what do you know? A hidden passage. And so I open the door and I go in. And then I eventually I come upon this like I guess it was like a satanic scene or something. And then there's a key, and then there's a little audio log from Sam, your sister, saying she's going to the attic. And so I go up to the attic because I think at this point I'm thinking, oh, I found what I had to do. I'm going the right way. The attic's the end of the game.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
So I finished the game in about 30 minutes. I missed out on a lot of stuff.
Oh my god. Wow.
I know the gist of the story because.
Did you go back?
No, I haven't played it a second time because I thought this was an interesting experience. Plus, I had a bunch of homework, so I was like, okay.
So did you realize when that happened that was not supposed to happen?
When I opened the door, like the secret passage?
Yeah. When you beat the game, were you like, oh, that was quick?
Oh, when I beat the game, I was like, oh. But when I found the secret passage,
That's interesting.
I thought it was, oh, hey. This is the right way. I'm going, yeah.
When you first get to the point where you find out that there are all these secret passageways in the house and everything, you get this little map, right? And it tells you where all of them are, all the passageways are.
There's more than
There's a couple. There's a couple like little like things that you can find, like hidden areas. When I got to that part and I started like looking for them, I wondered. I was like, could I just start the game and go to these things and already open these little secret doors and stuff? But clearly you can.
You can.
I would think design-wise they wouldn't let you.
That's what I assumed too. But this is interesting.
Funny thing, after I did that, I looked into the trophies of the game, and one of the trophies is beat the game in less than 1 minute. Speedrun. Which all you do
is that like go to the attic?
Go in there, go to the secret door, grab the key,
Oh.
go to the attic,
Wow.
and you're done. I didn't do that, but so that was my experience. With that being said, I plan on returning to it and trying to find all the notes.
So what did you get out of the story,
So
if anything?
basically what I uncovered is so Sam was going to a new school, and at her new school there was this like a military girl or whatever.
Yeah.
Punk rock chick.
JROTC girl, and she clearly had an interest in her. And from there, that's when I found the secret passage. And so from there, it was I ran away with what was her name, Lonnie.
Yeah. The end.
I ran away with Lonnie.
it.
I was like, oh, okay.
No.
That's where they went.
So I missed out on all
the story's been ruined for you.
The story
forever.
has been ruined, unfortunately.
Man.
But The 30 minutes I played was enjoyable.
That's good.
And like I said,
No, it's been tainted. You can't experience the way it's meant to.
I agree.
I'm sorry.
I bought this game for $20 though, so I'm
sorry.
gonna go back. Yeah. So
Wow. $20 and you got to play for 30 minutes.
yeah, pretty good bargain.
Good deal.
So I guess considering Sterling is the only one who played it properly, I think I might talk to him from now on.
No,
But-
it's okay. Please
Oh man.
carry on, and if I can chime in, I will.
So
Please, yeah.
there's a couple little questions I want to ask first
Okay.
concerning the details. Did you find the condom?
No, I don't think.
If you look in your parents' bedroom, bottom shelf, you open it, there's like a little condom in the bottom, and then Caitlin's like, oh, gross.
I found her dad's what was that, like a Playboy or
Gentleman
something?
magazine?
Yeah.
In the box under it?
Gosh, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I love those little details like that. They're so great. But for me, playing it a second time, I didn't get anything new out of it. It just sort of reiterated my feelings I had playing it the first time, and kind of just like it was a rediscovery of the characters and the family relationship,
Gotcha.
which I think is great. For me, the big takeaway is just how genuine and honest the whole game feels,
Oh yeah, totally agree.
and that goes back to just the house being so detailed. It feels lived in, and just every single piece of information you find contextualizes not only who it's about, but all the family members as well.
Definitely. Like you never hear, if I'm not mistaken, you don't hear the dad or the mom say anything.
Yeah.
Like they don't have any dialogue, but you learn like entirely about them just by digging through their crap, like
Yeah.
in their rooms.
Even bigger than that, you don't see any other characters.
Yeah, that too.
You know? And just how well they can craft these people to feel like real people by just using little notes on the ground and some audio logs.
Yeah.
It's just a great feat. Agree, Gus? From the little
Oh,
you
yeah.
played?
Totally.
But, I mean, going back to the detail stuff, some of the stuff I loved was just in your dad's office, there's like a bottle of liquor on the top shelf, just like knocked over. That says a lot just by that.
Yeah, I saw that.
If you go in the living room, that little like
The little
couch.
bar.
Oh, that too.
yeah.
Too. But their little couch fort.
Yeah, I like
I'm
that.
like, I did that too. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. All the 90s memorabilia. Like
That
all
was cool in the Pulp Fiction reference.
X-Files. And
Yeah, you said there was
VCRs,
there was
yeah.
Sonic Youth in this.
Yeah.
There's a
where was
poster,
it?
right?
There's a Sonic Youth poster.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
A lot of Nirvana references going on.
Yeah.
Love that stuff.
I love that you can find like the buttons and the cassettes of all like the. Did you find any of those?
No.
Okay, so there's like this whole like punk storyline going on too. That this Lonnie chick is like in a punk band, and that Sam gets introduced to like this whole like underground punk scene and everything. So as you learn more about that, you find like merch and like zines and like posters and stuff
Yeah.
lying around. It's really cool. Like
really
I kind of
cool.
wish you could like
Nice.
collect them, you know, as you go along.
But you play like every cassette you find, you run. Like, I want to find a player and listen
Yeah,
to
there's
it.
like a cassette player you can round, and you
Yeah.
can listen to like some original song playing. Super fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
But even the original music they have in there, usually it plays when you have an audio log. Even that's great. It's like the simplistic, like soothing electric guitar with like this orchestral backing. It's
Yeah,
really nice.
the song for the credits was awesome. I really liked that song.
Yeah.
That was very Sonic
It
Youth.
stuck with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just again talking about the narrative, for me, what I like about this game is that there's no real gut punch or twist ending. It's very poignant, and it's just like I remember. I think playing it the first time, I was kind of overhyped. I was expecting some big, reveal or some explosive emotional ending. It's not. It's very simple, but it stays with you, and I think that's why over time I came to like the story a lot more. Is that I had to chew on it in the back of my mind.
So I have a question.
Okay.
So where Sam is? She ran off with Lonnie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where is mom and dad?
They're on a retreat in order to get their marriage back together, right?
Yes. So what I love about that is that when you first find information, you think that they're just celebrating their anniversary. Later, you find a pamphlet that says they're going to counseling.
It's
Which
pretty
is
cool. Like,
cool,
yeah, you
yeah.
see like on the calendar, it's like anniversary. And then also the mom meets some like park ranger
Oh, yeah.
who she seems to be infatuated with
Ranger
a little
Rick.
bit. Yeah, you can find all this out through like just letters, like correspondence between her mom and her boss and her mom and her friend. It's great. You realize like the mom has some issues and the dad has some issues.
Oh yeah, everybody has issues.
Yeah, it's
like
great.
the dad's like a failed writer. He's struggling with that. Alcoholism also obviously is a big part.
Yeah, I got the failed writing part.
Yeah.
the Satanic Shrine that
Yeah,
you came across?
what was that
okay,
all about?
so this is a whole. Okay, so this game, like you were saying, Andrew,
It messes with you.
yeah, but you were talking about how like it feels like it's leading up to something. I was expecting this ghost plot to unravel. There's a ghost plot, by the way. That so the picture. Do you see the picture frame? That guy is Uncle Oscar. I don't want to spoil anything since you didn't like play this part, but like, okay, yeah.
Doesn't even matter.
So-
Just go for it.
I think he was the dad's brother or the dad's uncle.
I think so.
Okay, either great uncle Oscar or Uncle Oscar, who killed himself.
Yeah.
And he lived in this house. This was his
He was
childhood
the first
home,
like owner
right?
of the house. Yeah.
Yeah. And that gave the house the name Psycho House, I
Yeah.
think. So
It was like an urban legend throughout the community that like that's a psycho house because that crazy guy killed himself there.
So that's why there was a note to her sister from one of her new classmates saying,
Yeah.
yeah.
"Are you?
Yeah.
Are you does it run in the family?"
Yeah.
Okay.
And that made me, I started thinking about, I don't know about you guys, but I started thinking about The Shining because you're in this house in the middle of nowhere. Weather is like blocking you out. You can't leave, right? The dad is a writer and he's a failed writer and alcoholic. And then you learn that there's this psycho in the family. I was like, oh crap. It's either you're a psycho or your dad's a psycho and he's going to kill you. And none of that, of course, happened. But I had all these things running through my head the whole time. I was terrified, honestly. Like, there's this part where you have to go into the basement for the first time and it's pitch black.
Yeah.
I was so scared. I was like, I would take a few steps down and I was like, nah, I probably don't have to go in here. I'm not going to do that. But so scary.
Is there no light switch for the basement?
There is, yeah.
There is.
Oh.
There's one part, the light bulb like breaks
Oh,
when you're in the
yeah.
basement and it goes black and you're like,
Oh,
nope.
yeah, that'd
Did
be
you see the
cool.
one room where it's like you try to hit the light switch but it doesn't work?
Yeah, that's like at the very end of a hall.
Oh, that was scary too. Cause
I don't know what that was for. There's nothing in there,
You can't
right?
see what's at the end of that room.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking you're gonna try a few times and all of a sudden something's gonna jump out, but no.
So Uncle Oscar killed himself, or it suggests that he killed himself, right? And Sam and Lonnie decide to kind of become ghost hunters in a sense, and they're like trying to figure out if the house is haunted and all this stuff.
That's how they use all the secret passageways and hideouts.
Yeah, so they mark it on a little map and they go and like check out and try and like solve this mystery. And it makes you think that this is gonna like all build up and there's gonna be some sort of terrible ending or some sort of really dark secret revealed. But instead, it's kind of a happy ending in a sense. It's bittersweet because you're never gonna see your sister again, possibly.
Yep.
But
I don't know about Facebook and stuff.
yeah, exactly. It's the 90s.
The 90s.
Or even then, when you're talking about leading up to something, when you first see the attic, you see those red lights.
Yeah,
it's like,
and
don't
she-
come up here.
Oh, I thought that was
You can't
cool.
open it.
It is cool, but so
Well,
that
first,
was her
when you-
dark room, right?
Yeah,
Where
so when
she
you first
developed
get there, you
photos.
can't open it, right?
Yeah,
You had to
you
play
need
for
to-
another hour and a half until you actually get the key.
No, you actually
No.
don't. You just
The whole time I thought you're gonna open it and you're gonna find her dead body in there.
Yep, there's
Jeez.
there's like such a like finality to the attic, and it says like don't go in the attic if the red lights are on.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, the red lights are on, something terrifying is gonna happen.
But you know, like that's where you're gonna end up at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So you feel like something.
No idea.
You feel like something big's gonna happen, but
Yeah.
not really. It's again going back to just being really minimalist and not really overstated.
Yeah.
Which I think is great about it.
It's a really realistic game for all that it is. Like for all the suggestions of like supernatural things and all the things you're expecting to happen, it's like super realism in the sense that you're like playing this game and you're fully invested in it and you're learning about the characters in the most like realistic possible way. And also back in the Ghost, did you find the Ouija board?
Yep.
Okay, I love that. I was spooked.
Yeah. So again, I think it's just genius how they play on that expectation of it being a game and all those horror elements of a game, and instead they just serve you this deliciously realistic and honest story.
Deliciously.
Yeah. So that was Gone Home.
Yeah, I have one last question about it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it's something I wanted to clarify. There's this Daniel character. Daniel,
Oh, yeah,
like her childhood
Sam's friend, yeah.
right? And there's this story of him or they borrowed his Nintendo, or he borrowed their Nintendo.
Sam borrowed her copy of Street Fighter.
Street Fighter.
Oh, Daniel's a weird kid.
Yeah.
And she only liked him or she only hung out with him because he had a Nintendo.
He got all the cool Nintendo
And then I
games.
guess they still,
Corresponded.
but their friendship kind of,
Yeah.
I guess, faded.
But she still has this copy of Street Fighter.
Yeah, okay.
Is that all it amounts to, really?
From
Daniel's
that
part?
relationship, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But then she also comments on it. I don't know. You know, there's like audio logs that
Yeah,
you hear
I got
Sam
the audio
speaking.
logs.
She talks about that, saying how they sort of drifted apart.
And they like make up, I guess, at a point, and they hug it out. That's like when you're in the kitchen, you get some audio log, and she talks about Daniel.
Maybe.
Okay,
I don't
that
know.
I was confused as to what he had to do with anything. Maybe to express like her realization of her sexuality or something. I don't really know what was going on there.
I think it was just being distant, growing distant from friends, and the fact that she had to move. So when she went to high school, she was like all alone. You know, had to leave sort of her past behind and all her past friends. But then she found Lonnie.
Yeah.
And they create some awesome notes to each other, which is hilarious to read.
Yeah.
Those cats on the motorcycle.
Yeah, that drawing
Those are
was
cool.
good. Yeah.
So
Gone Home.
excellent game. Everyone should play it.
Gus should play
I
the
should
other
play it
hour and a
again.
half.
Like I said,
All right.
I will return
$20.
$20.
Next up, Sterling's recommendation:
Was
the film Rushmore by Wes Anderson. His second feature film, right?
Yes.
Second.
Second. Okay.
98.
So, you want to give any few words or?
I guess let's just start. I want to hear what you guys think first,
Okay.
if I have to defend it.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great.
Cool, that's
It
it.
was great. Yeah.
I thought it was
Show's
good.
over.
Oh, you only thought it was
I
good.
thought it was good.
Do you
I
have
thought
beef?
it was great.
I thought parts that were very good.
Is this the Brooklyn syndrome?
Yeah. Andrew can never overly like something.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be considered a bandwagon person.
Unless it's an Elton John album.
Unless it's an Elton John album, yeah. Or Had a Full Boyfriend.
No. We'll talk about this some other time. Anyway, so I really liked this movie, but had some problems. So I think I mentioned before, I've seen a few of Wes Anderson's other films. I love Royal Tenenbaums, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Grand Budapest Hotel.
Love that.
And for me, for this being his second feature film, I felt like he was getting to the point where he got his style down to a science. Like all his later films, you could tell. It's Wes Anderson. Through the whole film, his fingers are all over it. This one, I felt he was still kind of working it out. I mean,
I felt it was very Wes Anderson-y.
So you haven't seen Bottle Rocket, right?
I'm not.
Yeah,
Okay,
what is that?
So
like?
Bottle Rocket, if you just saw it and you had no idea who was involved with the movie, it looks nothing like the rest of his filmography.
Interesting.
Like there's an obvious like style in the sense that it's like stylized, but not in the sense that it's like Wes Anderson style. Do you know what I mean? So it appears stylized, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Whereas Rushmore is kind of what do you call it? Like a out of left field in the sense that he's starting to develop this like square framing and
Yep.
keeping everything like in the center, and then he gets the whole play aspect, which I think is something that kind of goes throughout the rest of his films a little bit.
I felt like it was not quite there yet. It was like on its way.
Yeah,
Like, I felt like he was building.
it was the first one to do that
Yeah.
of his films.
And
But
even
yeah.
like his editing is very stylistic, that you could tell like how it moves between scenes, and all the montages are like, yeah, that's Wes Anderson style.
yeah.
But for me, one thing that isn't really characteristic of his films that I actually liked was the characters were less deadpan. They're more expressive, more emotional, which for me was a welcome refresher, because some of his characters tend to be sort of like samey and deadpan.
Yeah.
Less color, which was kind of surprised. It's a little bland looking.
Yeah.
A lot of his films are really colorful. Wasn't really there. And when you talk about framing, to me it seemed a little more conventional than his other films. There's a lot of just simple shot, reverse shot, rule of thirds.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Well, that being said, there's a lot of nice shots
Yeah.
that he has. Very
Very
pretty
nice.
at times, I thought, at least.
I agree.
You don't agree with me with the style stuff, or doesn't really matter?
What, that he was building up on his
Yeah.
his signature? I mean, yeah, I get, like, if
For
I
me-
compared this to like Grand Budapest, obviously he did a more, I guess, like competent job and everything like
well,
that.
to be clear, in and of itself, I'm not saying it's a negative. I'm just made that note that it.
Yeah,
he didn't
I
quite
think it's
nail it.
important to remember it in the context of the rest
Yeah.
of the films, considering that it's his second and probably the first, I would say, that he's like, this is going to be my style. Like, it seems pretty decided. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I got that.
Yeah.
But my biggest problem with the film,
Let's hear it.
Max.
Max.
Oh, I knew it because he was. Yeah.
Because he was whiny and childish
You know what,
and stubborn as hell.
I apologize to Mr. Schwartzman at the beginning of this. I gotta take that back. No, I thought he did. I think it was more the character of Max was unlikable.
That's the thing. That's what I like about him. The fact that he's like kind of a little bitch, you know. And that I think that's important, especially in the fact that like. So they kind of play off this thing that he doesn't have a mom, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's in love with this teacher. And then when she's like, "No, you can't love me," he kind of throws a tantrum, essentially. And that's like the entire movie, which I think you could be like, "Oh, he's like that the whole time."
Yeah.
But I think that kind of moves the story along, especially with the friends he has and the people he connects with and stuff like that. And the fact that he has to get kicked out of school, which is his life, you know. So I think that's kind of important. I don't know.
Well, when you say like the whole film is like him having tantrums and not being able to accept the fact that he's not going to get with this teacher.
Yeah.
For me, that felt sort of aimless where, yeah, all these scenes maybe in a vacuum, they're really well done and stylistic and they're entertaining. But as a whole, I felt like, well, where is this going? Is he going to get to the point where he changes? And by the end, kinda.
See, yeah,
that's
change.
A
good point because at the end, you know, he doesn't get with the teacher, right?
Yeah,
obviously they're dancing, and it's like a bittersweet thing. It's like, oh, they're dancing, but that's not going to happen, obviously. But I think what's nice about that is it kind of feels like a story. You know, it's like this was a point in his life, and there's going to be a future, and there was a past. So I think I like it in the sense that it feels like a point in someone's life. You know what I mean?
But yes, I like that, like what the point is saying.
Yeah.
But because it sort of takes so long to get there, and every time you think, okay, maybe he's got in his head that he can't get with her, nope, he like tries again. It's just like, oh, come on. That it felt longer. The film felt longer than it is. It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that it was.
But I felt it was sort of dragging on. To me, it felt like it would end at the scene when him and Dirk are flying the kite.
Oh yeah, that does feel like the ending.
It was going to end there, and then it goes for another like 15 minutes.
It was going to end there?
Yeah, the part. So where the kite flying club or whatever, or the flying club thing, like that feels like a kind of like a closing, and it kind of like tones down.
Because something happens right before, isn't it? Where he like breaks into her house when it's raining, and
yeah,
with the blood.
And he says he's hit by a car and all that.
And then that was pretty like climactic, and then you get to this more quiet scene, and then you have the female character, Asian.
Yeah,
Margaret comes
Chang,
up, and you think, oh, they're going to get together. It's like a perfect ending.
And he does this thing where he's like listing off all the names of the people who went to the club, and a song starts coming in. You're like, it's
Cut
the end.
Black.
It's over.
But wasn't he at that point already talking about doing the other play?
Yeah, I just figured the first time I saw it, I figured you just would never see the play.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of like that they put the play in it too.
I love the second play, the Vietnam.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah,
I love the Scottish guy. I always wanted to be in one of your fucking plays.
Well, that was. Is there any reason that there's some British and Scottish actors and there are some that aren't?
I don't know. I think he's just an exchange student.
but there's more. It's not just him that has the accent.
Who else? Oh, the teacher.
The teacher has an accent.
Just quirky characters.
Maybe just those two, actually.
I think.
But
so.
anyway.
Yeah. So I felt the third act was a little disjointed, and even the ending, I was a little confused about what it was trying to say. Like they've, I think, come to peace, Max and the teacher, that they're not getting together, but they end up dancing like, oh, everything's good. Still a little unsure.
I think it's just that bittersweet thing where it's like, you know, they even mention like, I haven't got, or Bill Murray's character says like, I haven't gotten to like dance with your new girlfriend. So it's like, okay, he's got a girlfriend.
Okay.
He wrote a good play, right? And then he's like, okay, I'm going to settle my scores with the teacher and I'm going to move on. That's what it feels like to me. Like it feels like he's decided that.
Yeah.
And the teacher's like, you know what? You earned this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like the ending. A little confused, but I like it. Gus? You like it more than me.
I like it more than you, yeah.
Yeah. Any points I said that you don't agree with, or?
I felt like I touched on the ones that I disagree with you. I don't feel that it runs too long. And
I thought it was kind of short, honestly. Like,
I
to me,
thought
it felt like a really quick movie.
Yeah,
like
same. So,
well,
it was great.
One other note I have
glad
here.
you liked it.
lot.
Yeah. Good.
Talking about how I don't like Max, he reminded me of Ferris Bueller from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Which I don't like that movie because Ferris Bueller is an insufferable jerk.
I've always assumed
like
that I
him.
wouldn't like it because of that.
I really don't like he's completely unlikable. Like he's all like privileged and elitist and, you know, oh, I'm so great. Look at me doing all these wacky things, not going to school. I'm so cool. Don't you want to be like me? I'm like, no.
I feel an obligation to argue with you, but because I haven't seen the movie in so long, I guess I'll have to watch it sometime. Just to bring it up later. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Any other notes? I have here a great soundtrack.
Oh yes, that's one of my favorite parts.
The classic rock.
Yeah.
You got Rolling Stones,
The Who. Yeah.
John Lennon. Great stuff. I love Dirk Calloway. He's like my
Yes,
favorite
hilarious.
character.
So good.
Yeah.
What'd you think about Bill Murray's character? I can't remember his name.
I love Bill Murray.
Yeah, he's great. He was great.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Again, a lot of the characters not so deadpan as a lot of Wes Anderson films, so there's a lot more emoting from Bill Murray.
Especially from Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has like this anger management problem or something that they touch on a few times. You see where he just kind of like explodes at his like gross sons.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like when he I like when he like runs away at certain parts.
Yeah.
Like when he met the teacher for the first time.
Yeah.
That was funny.
But I think that's it for me. All my notes.
Do you want to say anything?
Closing
about it?
remarks? No, I love it.
Is this your favorite Wes Anderson?
I think it's my it's probably my favorite, but I think it's a second best in my opinion. I think it's second best behind Grand Budapest Hotel.
I love that.
Being number
Westboro
one.
Baptist Hotel.
The Westboro Baptist Hotel.
All right. We finally come to Flip Your Wig.
Flip
Gus'
your wig.
recommendation.
Love Flip Your Wig. That's it.
Yeah,
Podcast over.
you gave me Zen Arcade last year, right?
Last semester, yeah.
Last semester. I like Flip Your Wig way more than Zen Arcade.
I disagree, but I love both. Because I could go. Okay, I got to go in on Zen Arcade.
Please, no, go.
Zen Arcade it's a concept album.
Yeah.
All the songs fit together so well, but at the same, I read Bob Mould's autobiography, and so
Yeah.
I know the story behind a lot of the songs. And a lot of the songs, even though it's a concept album, it's a pretty generic story in a way. It's basically this guy he's from a broken home and he's having trouble in his life, and he like joins a cult at one point, Hare Krishna, and then he gets a girlfriend, and his girlfriend overdoses, but everything turns out to be a dream.
This is the plot of American Idiot.
Yes.
Essentially.
Green Day ripped off.
Yeah.
Zen Arcade. I
I'm
never
going
thought
to
about
touch
that.
on Green Day later, actually.
Jeez.
Especially in regards to Flip Your Wig.
Very
Yeah.
Pop punk. Anyway, yeah. Zen Arcade blends so many different styles. It has folk and psychedelia and pop. It's awesome.
So
anyway,
Zen Arcade came out the year before, right?
Zen Arcade
It's
came out
before Flip
the
Your Wig.
year before, and so in hold on a second, Andrew. in the span of 14 months, they released 3 studio albums, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that.
And they're all
that's
great.
Punk.
That is
Punk
that is
right
very.
there.
And is Zen Arcade your favorite?
Zen Arcade is easily my favorite.
Okay.
Nice.
I feel it's an album that's like an experience more. I feel like I've listened to Flip Your Wig way more than I've listened to Zen Arcade, but I feel like Zen Arcade, you have to experience the whole thing, whereas Flip Your Wig, I could just listen to.
I could see that.
I
yeah.
can't listen to
Make
the
no
first
sense at
30
all.
minutes and say it's the end.
What?
Gone Home reference.
Nice Gone Home reference.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so you chose Flip Your Wig because in your words it's more accessible.
It is. It's probably their second most accessible, maybe their third most.
I'm a little dubious about what you mean by accessible.
Accessible because if you've listened to their earlier stuff, which you haven't, it is not nearly as accessible. It's very post-hardcore and punk.
So this is an Andrew-friendly album, right?
This was supposed to be an Andrew-friendly album. I assume from his tone that it wasn't.
I think he's upset about a particular song.
It's a particular song?
No, we'll get to
We'll
it.
get to it. Okay.
So I want to ask one clarifying question
Okay.
beforehand. So I look on Wikipedia and it says the writers for each song is Mold and Hart.
Yes.
I was looking at that as
So
well.
when it
yeah.
says that, is that also the lead singer for that song?
Usually, not all the time.
Okay.
Hart is a better singer than Mold.
Yes, and I tend
Yes.
to like songs by Hart.
Oh, I like Mold songs.
When
better.
I first started listening to Hüsker Du, I almost always only liked Hart songs and not Mold songs.
Mhm.
But as time has gone on, I have come to respect Mold's songwriting, and he's the more prolific of the two,
Mhm.
and it's debatable on whether it was because he just had a better work ethic or if he was being a tyrant in the band. Because he like said to Grant Hart at one point, you'll never have more than 49% of the songs on a Hüsker Du record.
Oh
my God.
dang.
Yeah.
This is some Blink 182 level drama here.
But and considering my 3 favorite Hüsker Du songs are all Heart songs. I would say I prefer Heart over Mold.
Yeah.
Heart is definitely has his songwriting foundation in 60s pop, whereas Mold has a more punk style, even though he does.
That's why I like it.
Yeah. But anyway, were you about to say something else?
So, first time I listened to this album, really impressed by the like meaty guitar sound.
Yeah.
Really like that. All the songs in general have like great energy to all of them. But upon listening to it for the first time, did not think either singer's voices meshed well, or the singers and the guitar sound meshed well with the pop elements. To me, it didn't work. But after I listened to it, I had a strong urge to go back and listen to it a second time.
Yeah.
And I did, and I liked it a lot more. And then I listened to it the third time. And today was the fourth time.
4 times.
Well, that's not necessarily how I analyzed it the same way. But the first time I listened to this album, like I said last week, it was the last studio record of theirs that I listened to, and it was the one that had the least amount of impact on me. But as I've listened to it more and more, again, I like it a lot. It's probably my second favorite.
Nice.
So
So you want to get to some favorite songs and least favorite songs?
or are we going song by song like we did with
we could.
Brad
if-
Paisley?
You want to? You have notes?
I did the notes like that.
Okay,
but
so-
Cool.
It's up to you guys. So
Flip your wig.
Flip Your Wig, the title track.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, I like
opening.
Flip Your Wig a lot, actually.
This is one of the only songs in their discography that Hart and Mould worked together on.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cute.
that's cute.
Very cute. Yeah.
They wanted a 60s vibe to it, which I don't know if they necessarily got the 60s vibe, but I like the song a lot.
I kind of get that from the pop sound in it. Like this one reminded me the most of old Green Day, like first album Green Day. Like there's a Green Day song that sounds almost just like a Green Day song called At the Library, which I think is like the first track on their first album.
Whatever
Floppy
the hell it's
Albums,
called.
And I was like, oh my God, Green Day loves Hüsker Du, obviously. And I think, to me, it sounds like Rancid, and The Offspring might like Hüsker Du a little bit too.
I thought you meant that song sounded like Rancid.
No, I think it sounds like those bands take a heavy influence, especially from this album. Not so much from Zen Arcade, I didn't hear. But
No.
maybe Descendants, if you've listened to Descendants. I get a Descendants vibe from Zen Arcade.
Well, Descendants were probably around at the same time.
About the same time, yeah. So probably part of the same scene. But also, NoFX, if you've ever listened to NoFX.
I have not.
I guess we'll get to this track later, but Divide and Conquer literally sounds like a NoFX song, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, no, that was a great song.
Andrew doesn't like it for some reason.
We'll
get to that in a second.
Get to that. Flip Your Wig, I thought was super catchy and like one
There's
of
a
my
cool
favorites.
guitar part at one point.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to describe it really, but it was just cool.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Everything. One of my favorite. I really like this one.
That's one of my middle of the road ones.
Oh, really?
Honestly, yeah.
When I first listened to this, it didn't really hit me, but it's grown on me over time. It's not one of my tippity top favorites.
I like it a lot.
Bob Mould considers it one of Grant's best, and Green Eyes, which is another track on the
Which is probably my favorite.
Oh, wow. Jumping ahead 3 tracks. Hold on.
Oh,
We're
you
still
brought
on
it up first.
everything. Anyway, I like the chorus a lot to everything.
Yep. The lyrics are simple but effective.
Yeah.
And Grant Hart, like we mentioned earlier, his vocals are way more passionate than at least Bob Mould's vocals on this record. He has some passionate screams on Zen Arcade and whatnot.
Well, some good
But,
screams in everything. Yep.
Yeah.
That's true. But I don't have much else to say.
Yeah.
Do you have
I like
anything
the
to say?
guitar tone. That's pretty much what I wrote for this song. Like this song for me was like it just felt kind of like I guess if it's okay to say like a, how do you say like a, God, I'm at a loss for words, but kind of like if you're like, okay, Hüsker Du write a song, they would just like write this song. Do you know what I mean? So it's like not like a masterpiece or anything like that, but it's middle of the road essentially. But I like the guitar sound a lot throughout the whole album.
Yeah.
You got these like really airy,
yeah.
like crunchy guitars. Love it.
Good. And then we get to the single from the album.
This is my favorite song. In the album.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
Makes no sense at all. Yeah, I really like Makes No Sense at All. It's a great
Super
little
catchy.
pop song.
Yeah.
This is clearly pop, Andrew.
It's got some cool drums.
Yeah.
But you don't like Bob's vocals.
I don't like the vocals, and I thought the chorus was a little monotonous.
Oh, it's kind of, I feel like it's repetitive and like on purpose. Do you know what I mean? It's like purposeful.
Whereas Elton John
repeating.
just sings the same thing over and over.
Yeah, Andrew. Did you hear that new Elton
kidding.
album?
Elton John's
I
great.
haven't yet.
You haven't?
No.
I thought you pre-ordered it.
Nope.
Oh, well. Okay.
Shows you.
Makes no sense at all.
Oh, Hey Paper Doll.
I love Hate Paper Doll.
That's my other favorite. I have 2 checks by that one. Yeah.
I love Hate Paper Doll.
I
Those
hate
are my,
Hate Paper
my
Doll.
2 favorite
Hate Paper
tracks.
Doll. Okay, I even wrote this down. It is admittedly an annoying song, but
I wrote annoying.
yeah.
Wait, in what sense? What were you annoyed by?
Paper
Yeah, that
Doll.
line. It's annoying.
That's what I like.
I know, I like it too. I like it. It grows on you. But the first time I heard that, I was like, "What? This is annoying." But at the same time, because it was annoyingly catchy, it was the song that I immediately remembered.
Yeah.
Pretty much instantly, I remember
Yes,
this
it
track.
did stick out to me for being annoying.
Yeah,
I wrote, my
likably annoying, just like Max from Rushmore.
Yeah, exactly.
my 2 notes here, annoying and meh.
And meh. I can understand if people didn't like Hate Paper Doll though, and I don't know what a Hate Paper Doll is. But
Is he saying hate paper doll? Is it like a command? Like, hate paper doll.
Well, I thought he was hating on the Mills Brothers songs, which I don't like because Paper Doll's awesome. If you know that song.
Don't get all sensitive about it. Jeez.
Anyway.
He's not a hater though, you know.
Who?
They don't sing diss tracks or anything like
Hüsker
that.
do?
Hüsker do, yeah. Andrew's favorite.
Yes.
Green Eyes.
Allegedly.
I love Green
Eyes.
One of my
favorite.
favorites.
Green Eyes.
For me, on the first listen, this was like standout for me.
Good love
Really?
song.
Yep.
It was not standout for me. It was probably one of my least favorite when I first listened to it. I like it more now. I think it's like I like it's like hypnotic.
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah.
It has like this reverb effect. through
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
And even though the lyrics are really simple,
Again, yeah,
I
simple
think,
but effective.
Yeah,
Pretty.
And
It's a
I guess
pretty
on
song.
Heart's pretty good at that.
And then, I said I liked everything also. And that's also Heart,
Mhm.
right? And I think both of them, they tone back the guitar work a lot, and it really complements his vocals, I think.
Yeah.
So, and a killer ending.
Yeah.
So ramped up guitar chords and then
Yeah,
just chimes
yeah,
at the end.
It's cool. It's cool.
In general, all the songs, I love how they start, and then they always
Yeah.
have great starts and ends.
Except Divide and Conquer, right? Which is track 6.
Okay, I actually have a little thing to say. You said you looked at the writing credits on Wikipedia
Briefly.
briefly. Well, it says Divide and Conquer is a Heart song,
Yeah, I
which
know.
it's not.
I saw.
It's a Mold song.
Okay, that's what I figured.
It is so clearly a Mold song.
Maybe Hart wrote it and Mold performed it?
Um,
Does that happen?
I could have swore in his autobiography when he was talking about Flip Your Wig, he talked about writing Divide and Conquer. So when I was first researching this album before I listened to it for the first time, I felt like, or when I listened to it for the first time, I felt like I would have noticed that Divide and Conquer was a Heart song because they have very distinct styles,
Yes.
and this is so clearly Bob Mold style. But
Yeah, what you say is true, that really rests my heart because I saw it as a Heart song. I'm like, I don't like this song. I should like this song. But
with that being said, totally disagree with Andrew. Divide and Conquer is sick.
Yeah. Punk as hell.
Also, the lyric. What's the word? Prescient.
Yeah.
Very prescient lyrics. Talking about censorship and whatnot you can see NSA type stuff coming out of this. But
I think it has a real cool guitar riff,
it does.
but it grows old for me.
Disagree.
I also disagree.
I think it goes so well with each of the lines he sings. It's so
Yeah.
punchy. It's awesome.
For me, the first half of the song is great, but then it comes out loop. It's just like verse, instrumental.
I think it's better in
verse,
the second half of the
instrumental,
song
back.
because I think the lyrics are better in the second half of the song.
I wrote some bad lyrics here. He rhymes the word codes 3 times. Codes.
Yes, but it's on purpose in the way that he's talking about different types of things. It's not just like asses at the floor, everyone dance on the floor, like that. I actually started thinking about this because what song was it we were talking about, and we were like, why did he rhyme the same 2 words?
Was it Brad Paisley?
It might have been.
Probably.
It was only like 2 days ago.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
But and then I started thinking, like, there's a lot of songs that rhyme with the same word. like Black Sabbath's War Pigs.
It's an accidental racist. LL Cool J rhymes chains with chains.
Oh, yeah.
Iron chains, gold chains.
Yeah.
See, I think that's just a terrible line in general.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. If you want to hear us talk about that album, check out episode 1.
it wasn't. When you keep saying codes, it's not the same. Like they're
Yeah, sure.
different things,
I know.
and it adds to the message of the song. So that's
Iron
why I was
codes.
fine with
Then he
it.
goes
Gold
nodes,
codes.
and it just confuses me.
However, early on in the song, there's some. I don't even think you can call it slant rhyming, and it kind of breaks the fluidity of the beginning of the song for me. But then the second half of the song, the lyrics are more. I don't know. I just feel like they're way better. Happened way too quick. Ah, so great. Anyway,
But
there's some. Oh, wait. There's a great lyric towards the end. Oh, there we go. It's not about my politics. Something happened way too quick. Bunch of men who played it sick. They divide and conquer.
Nice.
I think those lyrics.
Yeah, no,
are fucking
that's
great.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
all right,
Andrew's crazy. Anyway,
Games?
games, which also Andrew didn't like.
which I felt
Yeah, I
very
wrote
similar to Divide and Conquer.
On it. I didn't have any notes.
I love games.
I can't even remember what it sounds like, trying to think about it right now.
It's a game, some game that everyone can play. But I don't know. I think it sounds melancholic, and I like the chorus a lot. The lyrics, I would say, are pretty run-of-the-mill lyrics. So,
How I felt about games, similar to Divide and Conquer, has a decent melody, but it's overused. Gets monotonous.
I could see that, especially for games in particular,
The
because
ending
it's
kind
longer.
the ending kind of drags on.
It-
Oh, is this one of the 4-minute
Yes.
songs? Okay.
Yeah.
Felt too long.
I could agree with that. It could have been shorter. Okay. Then we move on to Find Me.
Yeah, I liked Find Me, though.
Find Me is... I like every song on this record, even the one that we're going to talk about next. But it's probably one of my least favorites.
Find Me.
Yeah.
I would like Find Me.
I like it better than Games, and I also like it better than Everything.
It is more standout. Than,
I like that. It's got the House of the Rising Sun beat. That
Yeah.
It has a more sinister sound.
It does.
More
definitely.
mysterious lyrics.
Yeah, and then the
lyrics
guitars
are great.
are just like this like big like wall of sound type
Yeah.
swelling stuff. I was like, thank you. Find me, Hüsker do. Please find me.
I have a note here, Gus.
Yeah.
If you could explain. I
Okay.
wrote, don't know why. Reminds me of REM. Explain.
Find Me?
Yeah, why did I write that?
I have no idea because I don't agree.
I thought you might know.
There are actually some songs on their final release called Wheelhouse where Bob Mould's vocals make it sound like an REM song because at that point his vocals get so nasally that he sounds like Michael Stipe in a way.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
You can explain that.
we move on to
track
Andrew's favorite track, real favorite track.
Yeah.
The Baby Song.
I love that opening. The baby song.
Baby Song.
This was like right under Harvey Bodine for me. It's
Right
that good.
under.
Yeah.
Sick Brad Paisley reference, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Baby Song is just a joke song.
Yep.
They use what was it?
Slide
whistle.
Slide whistle. It's really silly. It's like 47 seconds.
And it's terrifying.
I put an X next to Baby Song because I thought it was so annoying. Like the sound, like it hurt my ears to listen to.
Oh god, it's
scary.
so great.
To me, it was scary.
Yeah, Andrew said it was scary, and I don't understand how it's scary.
It's creepy.
Imagine listening to Baby Song and playing Gone Home. You're going into that basement, and then you start hearing that slide
Exactly.
whistle.
Baby Song.
Baby
I mean-
Song.
That's a Heart song, by the way. Your man.
Yeah.
Um,
Good job,
If
Hart.
I could give a recommendation, do not let your baby listen to this.
Yeah.
I would disagree. I would say let your baby listen.
Well, you should not have children.
Anyway, yeah, I would say it's the worst song on the album just because
Joke song.
it's a I don't know why they did it, but they decided to put it in.
That's what makes me mad is that it feels so pointless, and it doesn't like feel forced or anything. Like as a part of the album, it feels fine, but just the fact that it's on the album, I'm like,
I would
like,
feel
wasted 30 seconds.
more angry if it was longer. If it was
Definitely,
like-
yeah.
You know what song I hate is on a Beastie Boys song called "Girls." I think that
Oh.
song is so annoying. Yeah, and the worst part of that song is that it just goes on forever. It
Yeah.
feels like.
Yeah.
Girls.
And they didn't do that here. It's just 47 seconds or something. Anyway, Flexible Flyer,
Like it.
like it. One of the harder ones for me to remember throughout my listens. Though.
Yeah, I put like a little line, and I wrote boring, so I don't really I don't remember anything.
Brutal.
Yeah, I don't mean it in a negative way because I really like this album, like a lot. But this song, as well as the other two that I mentioned, for me, just like kind of forgettable. I guess I only listened to it like 2.5 times, but I thought this was kind of boring, this song.
Andrew, why do you like it?
I like it.
That's great.
As a verse and chorus complement each other in addition to both having melodic hooks.
Kind of reminds me of Elton John a little bit. Sorry, Sir Elton John.
I bet Grant Hart loves Elton John.
Probably, yeah.
Private Plane.
Private Plane.
I like Private Plane.
I assume you don't like Private Plane, Andrew. Yep.
Nothing. I don't dislike. I just wrote nothing really noteworthy.
I like Private Plane. I don't think it's as punchy as Divide and Conquer.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Is this a Mold song also?
yes.
What a surprise.
What a surprise.
To me, it sounds like I have a knack for not liking hard songs, Andrew.
Well,
Sounds like we got beef.
You liked Green Eyes,
Yeah, Green Eyes was one of my favorites.
and I think that's
It is
the
my
only
favorite.
one that well,
That I
there's
liked.
one more Hart song coming up.
Did he write Find Me?
No.
Okay.
Mold wrote that.
I liked Find Me.
Yeah. So Private Plane, lyrics are weird, kind of.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just like the. I don't even know if you could call it a chorus. Just when you say
That's why I wrote love that chorus. I like that part.
yeah, it's great. Keep hanging on.
Keep hanging on.
This is the other Hart song.
Okay, I wrote and there's a minus sign next
I
to it,
love
so-
Keep Hanging On.
I like it.
I think Hart's vocals are great.
Those
on this.
screams.
Yes.
Put himself all into it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh man.
Keep. And it's really like yeah, sorry, I was about to sing again. To counter all the, I guess, melancholic songs that are on this album, Keep Hanging On is, I mean, it's pretty, I guess, heavy, like instrumentally speaking, but it has a good message. Keep
The
hanging
last
on.
chorus.
Keep hanging
Just
on.
rocks.
Yeah.
All the lyrics are kind of a little sappy though.
Yeah, but
It's called Keep Hanging On.
keep-
so,
yeah.
you know.
What are you gonna do?
what are you gonna do?
Isn't that like the name of an Avril Lavigne song or something?
I don't
No,
know.
that's Keep Holding On.
Oh, okay, great.
We'll take
Big
your word for
Hüsker
it.
do influence in her tracks.
And then
Two instrumental tracks.
two instrumental tracks, which I
Yeah.
thought was a very interesting choice.
That
Usually
surprised me.
one.
Back to back, and they close the album.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're both Mold songs, right?
And they're both Mold
Okay.
songs. And the first one is The Wit and the Wisdom, which I think is a cool song.
Yep.
That's the one that's like more like louder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, I wrote, gets kind of metally at some point.
Yeah, towards the end, I think.
Um,
I put a little squiggle next to it. I think I was kind of like,
however, The Wit and the Wisdom can't hold up to my favorite song on the whole album.
really?
Don't know yet.
Wow.
I love.
There's not even any words.
I know.
I would definitely put that in my top. I don't know about favorite.
I love moody instrumentals.
I really like it too.
And it it makes it. I tried to think of a way to describe how it made me feel, so I the two words I used was
So I wrote a poem.
comfortably distressed.
Wow,
is what I
that's-
wrote.
That sounds like an album title.
Yeah, and it
good.
matches the vague name of the song. Don't know yet.
Don't know yet.
Bob Mould uses a lot of don't knows in his songs. There's seriously like 3 or 4 songs that have don't know. But anyway,
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful closer.
yeah.
Yeah,
Piano. It's a great
I
addition.
wrote jammy effects. Don't know what that means.
I wish it was
but-
longer. I wish it kept going. But
Yeah.
that's probably just
Was it
me.
like 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's only 2 minutes 14 seconds, I think. Whereas Wit and the Wisdom was like 3 minutes 40 seconds.
Yeah, Wit and the Wisdom's too long.
Disagree. Yeah. So top 3. What are your top 3, Andrew?
Green Eyes. Everything. Find Me.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Okay.
We're not friends anymore.
Well,
But interesting.
we never were.
True.
I'm going to say Makes No Sense at All, Hate Paper Doll, and either Flip Your Wig or Divide and Conquer.
Makes No Sense at All is one of their most popular songs, Andrew.
Well-
and Divide and Conquer.
I thought you would like Make No Sense at All, too, because it's such a pop song. That's what
Yeah,
astonishes me.
I know. That's what I felt too.
Well, fooled you.
I know.
Dang.
And my top 3, don't know yet, Divide and Conquer. And then for number 3, I put a tie between Games and Keep Hanging On.
And Baby Song, of course.
And Baby Song.
Yeah.
Baby Song is actually on my bottom 3 as my least favorite song, just because.
Yeah.
And then I had Find Me and Flexible Flyer.
Yeah, okay. I could agree with Flexible Flyer.
Clarify. I do like this album, and I do like Makes No Sense at All. Just not the top.
Did we do out of 5 stars last time when we were rating? We
I think
did,
so.
right? Yeah, because you said...
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So out of 5 stars.
Well, I really like it, so 5 for me.
Wow, 5.
I got 4.
Yeah, I'm at 4 too.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Now,
what was that?
Yeah, thanks for suggesting that. That was a cool album. I will
Good.
definitely revisit it.
Andrew was making me worried. I wasn't sure Andrew was going to like it.
Yeah.
I did like it.
That's half the fun of the show.
That's half the fun of the show. I think all their albums are on Amazon
Yeah,
Prime.
I'm definitely
or
gonna-
nearly all their albums.
Nice.
Gonna go and listen to him.
Candy Apple Grey, I think you'd like.
Okay.
Anyway,
Now,
Wow.
time to move on to part 2 of the show.
Andrew's
Yeah.
antsy. Yes.
To our recommendations
The
for
bitch.
for next week's episode.
Save mine for last.
Why?
Okay.
Okay. I went first last time, so Gus, you want to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
So what are you pitching today?
I am pitching a movie released in 1983. It is actually my favorite movie.
Back to the Future.
Wait, are you
No.
Oh man.
are you serious?
What?
Favorite movie ever?
Yeah, it's my
Oh
favorite
wow.
movie.
I didn't know that.
I mean, that might change. I haven't seen it in over a year, so who knows? Maybe I'll hate it.
What
now.
is it? I'm on the edge
It
of my
is
seat.
The King of Comedy, Martin Scorsese.
Woo.
It's a black comedy. I don't want to say too much about the plot. All
Okay.
I will say is that Robert De Niro plays kind of a weirdo, like usual.
Okay.
And he wants to become a comedian, or at least a comedian slash show presenter. Like Jerry Lewis is in this movie, and he plays a guy named Jerry. I don't remember his last name right now, but
That's awesome.
he is a comedian. He has a late night show, and so Robert De Niro wants to meet with Jerry Lewis in order to get his career in comedy started, and that is the beginning of the plot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's oh god, it's so great. I can't wait to talk about it. I really can't. I can't say too much, but interesting. I did pick up some interesting tidbits.
Okay. Throw them tidbits on me.
This was not a financially successful movie. Well, I don't know if it bombed or anything like that, but it definitely wasn't as big of a success as, say, Raging Bull or Taxi Driver was.
Yeah.
Goodfellas.
It didn't. Well, this came before Goodfellas.
I haven't seen any of those movies. I know.
Sin.
Someone
I know.
suggests Taxi Driver. for me.
Cinematic
Taxi
Sin.
Driver is amazing.
It's my favorite Scorsese film, and one of my.
It's
top
my
5.
second. It's my second favorite.
I've heard it's an essential, so
It
pretty
is.
pumped about that.
But when the movie started being shown on television, it got a lot more traction with audiences.
Those are the best kinds of movies, the ones that get like a second life,
Yeah, yeah.
like Fight Club.
Other interesting things, Jack Black wanted to make a remake, and then one of the actresses, Sandra, I know, that's how I felt when I read that. Sandra Bernhard, who's a comedian, also sometimes an actress. She's actually been in a lot of things. But she was like, no, the time is gone. And then Steve Carell and director, hold on, I gotta look at his name, Bennett Miller, who did Foxcatcher, correct?
And Moneyball.
They're both. They claim this to be a personal favorite, and that the Robert De Niro's character was inspiration for Carell's portrayal of DuPont in Foxcatcher.
That's pretty cool.
Have you seen Foxcatcher?
Yes.
You might get an idea of what
Very good. Okay.
De Niro might be about.
I'm pumped.
Be like,
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't seen Foxcatcher either, but
but that's all I can say until next week.
I have a funny story about King of Comedy.
yeah.
Is that,
Yeah.
So, sometime last semester, I was just scrolling through Netflix looking for something to watch, and I found this movie called The King of Comedy, which I don't remember when it came out, but it's directed by and starring Stephen Chow, this Chinese actor. It's a Chinese movie, and I was like, oh, I've heard of The King of Comedy. Like, I've heard this is a great movie. I should watch this. And it was a great movie, but it's not King of Comedy.
It's not the one.
I texted Gus like that day or like later that
Yeah,
day. And
yeah,
I was
you were
like,
like-
oh, watching King of Comedy. And you're like, awesome, dude. And I I tried to talk to him about it later. And you're like, no, wrong movie. That's not it.
Yeah, that was hilarious. You have piqued my interest about seeing.
You should watch King of
Comedy,
Comedy.
though.
And I also watched another one of his films later that's also on Netflix called Shaolin Soccer. Super great.
I've seen that.
I've seen parts
I
of
love
that.
Shaolin Soccer. So funny.
Isn't there a naked guy in some part?
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, Andrew.
All right, my recommendation, which will be very controversial.
Oh, no.
Yes, this is quite unnerving for some of our listeners, maybe.
Yes. I have selected To Russell, My Brother Whom I Slept With, the sixth comedy album by Bill Cosby.
Woo. Here we
Came
go.
out in
Why? Oh, wait. Yeah. Anyway. Sorry.
Hold your horses.
Tell us more.
Came out in 1968, and it is considered one of the greatest comedy albums of all time. Now, some backstory. I first was introduced to Bill Cosby stand-up through two podcasts around the same time. One was Spill.com. Corey Coleman recommended this actual album, so I bought it, and I listened to it. Same time, listened to WTF, Mark Maron's podcast, and he was talking about Bill Cosby's stand-up called Himself, which came out in 1983, and he called it the holy grail of stand-up. And it is also considered one of the greatest comedy concert films of all time. I listened to both of those, loved them, and ever since then, I really loved his comedy. So, a little backstory about Bill Cosby. He began stand-up in his stand-up career in Philadelphia, started touring around different cities, but made his big break in 1963 when he performed on The Tonight Show. He got a lot of national attention, made a contract with Warner Brothers Records, and they released his debut LP in 1963 called Bill Cosby is a Very Funny Fellow, right? So, and for the next 10 years, he released at least one comedy album per year. And 64 was I Started Out as a Child. And then in 65, 66, 67, Why Is There Air, Wonderfulness, and Revenge all won the Grammy for Best Comedy Album. So he won like 3 years in a row.
That's awesome.
And then the next year, the sixth album, To Russell My Brother, Whom I Slept With, which I think is amazing. Also, Bill Cosby, prolific in television as well.
I was not a fan of The Cosby Show growing up.
Never saw it. That was
1984 to 1992. And you'll be hard-pressed to try and watch it now because no one's showing it.
They don't have it on like Nick at Night anymore?
They took it all down.
Wow.
Apparently, according to Wikipedia, you can still watch it on Hulu Plus.
Sweet.
So,
Hulu.
but in the 60s, he was on the shows I Spy, Electric Company, 72, 85, Fat Albert, The Cosby Kids, which I watched a couple episodes in my childhood.
We're going to watch the live-action movie sometime. It's going to be great.
Yes.
Yeah.
But one thing to note is that he was a very influential comic in the industry. For one, his style, he didn't use any vulgar language or touch on any controversial topics. He just stuck with really his life experiences and his childhood events in his life. I mean, in this comedy album, side 2 is 27 minutes long, and it's one whole track of just his life.
Oh, that's cool.
Or actually, it's just one reenactment of this one night he had with his brother, which is really cool.
Who he slept with.
Whom he slept with.
Yes.
Quaaludes.
And just the fact that how prolific he was in his comedy and television was really impactful. But we have to talk about, what's the problem?
Okay, please
Anyway.
continue. Yeah.
If we talk about Bill Cosby now, we have to bring up the sexual assault allegations against him.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yes, accused by over 50 women, ranging from sexual misconduct to straight up rape. He has vehemently denied allegations while remaining silent in publicly addressing the issue. And that's particularly heartbreaking to me because I had loved his comedy before all this controversy. So to see something like this happen made me pretty sad.
That is.
I mean, in 11th grade, I wrote a paper analyzing his pound cake speech, which is pretty famous. You haven't heard of it, but
Nope.
yeah, wrote a paper on that in English class.
Cool.
And something we will definitely talk about next week is the topic of separating the art from the artist,
Yes.
which will be great.
We're going to get a guest. Not really.
It's a good thing to talk about.
And I'm very curious how your feelings will be listening to his stand-up for the first time and knowing what you know about him.
I'm intrigued.
I'm gonna try to go in with an open mind.
Yeah.
Separate the two, art and artist.
So, question: Are these allegations still coming out?
So most of them have been past the statute of limitations, so he wasn't able to get convicted.
Yeah.
But there is one now where he is going through the process for going through a trial.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and he's like on like a $1 million bail or something. So hopefully he gets convicted.
Man, yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Were you in the jury?
not yet.
All
but
I'm saying,
I'm just saying.
like Bill Cosby, we want to know the truth.
Yeah, next episode's going to get pretty dark, it sounds like.
It's going to be very dark.
Stick with it, people. Hopefully,
I'm excited.
All our 3 listeners, don't leave us, please.
Please.
All right. Finally.
Okay, so I mentioned this to Andrew the other day, but I've decided to switch up my suggestion. Yeah, plot twist. Didn't put it in the Google Doc. I'm sorry. So
you got to start over.
No, this is exciting now.
This is for Gus. I didn't tell Gus, but I kind of mentioned it to Andrew in passing. My suggestion is a 2.5-hour musical soundtrack by the name of Hamilton.
God.
Hamilton's in the news right now.
Okay, Andrew, we're making... hold on a second. We're making amends. We don't have to listen to it twice. This is a musical.
But you will want to listen to it twice. Hear me out. So Hamilton...
It's so long, though.
...is written... So the book, lyrics, and music are all written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote the Tony Award-winning musical In the Heights. Right. I think it came out in 2009. And on a break from performing In the Heights, he picked up a biography about Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow, right? And I guess Hamilton's story inspired him so much that he was like, "Wow, I have to make this into a show." And he apparently researched it, and no one had ever done a show like a founding father musical. And he's like, "Okay, this narrative is so perfect for hip hop, which is kind of his go-to medium as far as I've seen with In the Heights." And what's great is, or I should say, what's sad is none of us will probably be able to see Hamilton with the original cast. Sold out through December.
Wow.
Right now it is
through December 2016.
February right now. Yeah, December 2016.
Oh my
this year.
God.
Yeah, it's insane.
We'll just see it in January.
Yeah, we'll just see it next year.
Problem solved.
We'll see it in 13 months.
That'll be when we have the 3rd episode.
The 3rd episode of the Wheelhouse. Yeah. No, that'll be the 4th episode because it'll probably get canceled after the next episode.
Oh, okay. True.
Yeah, no, but I really think you guys are gonna love it. I don't want to tell you too much. I'm sure you know kind of the essentials of the Alexander Hamilton story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, duels and whatnot.
R.I.P.
But yeah,
Robert E. Lee.
More Paisley references. I think you guys are especially gonna love it. I predict that Andrew will like it a little more. Maybe based on the heartstring pulling that may occur, and I'm intrigued to see what you guys think. I don't want to say too much about the way the story's told, but it's more of a rap album than it is a Broadway soundtrack.
I was always interested in it. This past winter break, I was in New York to see Les Mis on Broadway, and there were signs everywhere, Hamilton, Hamilton. Everyone's like, "Oh, what is this Hamilton thing going on?"
I'd at least rather listen to Hamilton
than Les Mis?
To Les Mis, yeah.
So imagine Hamilton. Hamilton is basically a hip-hop Les Mis, okay? It's kind of like an opera. No, you're going to love it. And Les Mis is great, too. That's a great soundtrack as well.
Okay, the songs are good.
The songs are terrific.
My only
can't
concern,
stand Les Mis.
an issue even,
Let's hear it.
is the fact that it's a musical, and I'm going to be listening to just the audio version. Like, I'm not going to get any visuals with it, you know.
That's a great point.
In its proper form, Hamilton is to be experienced in the theater, sitting there, listening and seeing the production.
Yes.
Whereas this was just audio.
And I would rather listen to just audio because then I don't have to wait for intermission to use the restroom or anything like that.
That's a great point. But
thanks.
What's so cool about this soundtrack in particular, not only does it feel like a hip-hop album, and I've never seen the show, obviously. What's so exciting about this is that listening to it, the story is told so well that I may never have to see the play and I'll still love it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a soundtrack that you may love or a score that you love, and you're like, "Oh, this like feels like this emotion," you know. But this has words too. It's really sharp dialogue told through hip hop, and just a lot of music. 2.5 hours of it. There's motifs that make the characters stand out from one another. You know, everyone has like their own little theme tune and stuff like that.
Love some good motifs.
Yeah, I know you do.
I love my motifs.
So. The hip hop element makes me more excited to listen to it.
I figured,
rather than if it was just a straightforward musical.
And that's what's cool. It's a healthy blend of the two. So I think you guys are gonna have a good time.
All right, 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
It's gonna be a good show next time.
How long is King of Comedy?
I don't know.
Is it 2.5 hours?
No, it's not 2.5 hours.
Bill Cosby, 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
That's short. Wow.
Hüsker Do is 40 minutes. So
yeah.
I chose a short one too.
Oh well, we got our work ahead of us for next week.
Got our homework.
Andrew, plugs?
Yes. Everyone, thank you for listening again on our second episode. We went almost an hour and a half again.
Really?
Surprisingly, yes.
Oh my God.
We thought it was just because we love Brad Paisley so much that we talked a lot, but
Wow.
we just have a lot to talk about.
That felt way shorter this time.
Yeah, seriously.
So, again, thank you everybody for listening. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/wheelhousecast.
Yep.
Follow us on Twitter at wheelhousecast. You can also email us. That's new. wheelhousecast@gmail.com.
Please.
I don't know what you'll send, but we'd appreciate anything we can get.
Yeah.
Ask
Send
a
us
question.
hate mail.
Ask a
If
question.
you got a question, ask. If you have a comment or a criticism,
Here's a question I
don't
can
be
ask.
afraid.
If you were offered a plate of eggs and ham and another plate of green eggs and ham, which would you rather eat?
Green eggs.
That is a great question, except green eggs would be disgusting.
It's food coloring, people. I assume, right? In a realistic setting.
Yes, it's food
So it
coloring.
would just be food coloring.
It's the exact same egg, exact same ham, just one.
You already have ham and eggs all the time. Normal colored eggs and ham. Why wouldn't you just have a little fun?
Where else can you find the podcast?
Most importantly, we are now on iTunes.
Woo!
They approved us.
Thank you, iTunes
And-
podcast listener, man.
For some reason, they labeled us as clean.
Fuck that.
There we
Exactly.
go.
Well
There we go.
said.
We just earned our
Thank you.
explicit
Quite articulate.
badge. Yeah.
Thank you.
But subscribe to our feed, and you'll get each episode automatically. Rate and review us. That would be great.
Please.
Unless you want to give us a 1-star and just forget about it. And I think
That's okay.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Sterling. Thank you, Gus.
Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew.
Jinx.
My name's Andrew, and we'll see you next week.
Wheel.
That's what
You
meant.
did it.
Oh boy.